So in terms of the uniqueness, right? I'm all about showing, not just telling. So we keep talking about unique, 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 and we talked about doing a survey. Can you give me another example of how can someone find their uniqueness, even though they're maybe doing something that is a very saturated market?
Sure. So, I mean, there are a lot of companies that sell Apple computers, and Apple doesn't like people selling their products within 5% of the MSRP. So, it really makes it so that where you shop for a computer, it really depends on what you're looking for. Some people like the retail experience, so they do Best Buy. That's their USP, that we've built a place where people could drive to, go inside, test it out, play with it, and then take it home. There are places like Mac Mall that I'm not sure if they still do this, but one of the things they did was bundle. So we can't sell it less than, say, $29.95. But what we can do is throw in some free software, free overnight shipping, and some additional things. And that's like their USP and how they stand out. And another company might come through and say, hey, we'll give you a free, yeah, it used to be iPod, but now it might be something else that they throw in that's more hardware oriented rather than software. And so, what is it that you're doing that is different from your competitor? And take an audit. Is it the shipping capability that you have? I had a guy who did commercial seals. And gaskets for lots of different equipment. And his USP is I can custom make any seal within 24 hours. And he got a call from an oil rig that was in the water off of Texas, and they said, "We need this seal," and it was a monster, huge seal. And he says, "Yeah, I can have that for you in 12 hours." And they said, "Okay, we will have a helicopter there in 6 hours waiting for it." And he said I only charged him like $1,400 for it, and he says, "Yet I know they spent like $20,000-$30,000 going helicopter to helicopter all the way up to Illinois where he was located." And to them it was very valuable. We ran with that story, and it got picked up. People really resonated with the journey in this case of, here I am with solving a problem very quickly. And for the oil rig that was closed down, it was losing six figures a day. So getting that seal replaced with someone who could do it immediately meant a huge difference to them. And that was what he was doing that was unique. Is there something that you're doing that's a little bit different in your marketplace? It could be if you're a local business. Is it like, do you have a special relationship with the community? Do you do something for after school? Could you do something that would resonate with your local community? And I always encourage people to go after local media. It's the easiest media to get, and you should definitely do it yourself. It's the same way you talk about, building relationships. You do that with your local media. If you think about it, in almost every market, there's probably less than 10 people who would ever write or cover you, including TV and radio. So just find out who those 10 people are, ask for their email address, and then just communicate with them on a quarterly basis with what as you have something that's really compelling that you want to share with them. And sometimes it could just even be providing them a tip or resource that you've noticed a trend, and you're not really applicable to be plugged into that, but they'll appreciate that, so that as you communicate with them more and more, you'll become more top of mind when they are looking to plug a company into a story, and they're like, "Oh, what kind of company could I put here?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, that company that reaches out to me every once in a while, this would be pretty good for them." And I think that's the reason that so many people find the same companies being recycled and used again and again in their local papers, is because they have the relationships, and they built the relationships with the local media. And I think that those are things that you can really do to at least get started